All right. Thank you so much for your patience. Let's get to it. Why don't we? Let me see. Where's my crocky crook crook crook? Okay, here we are. What is popping up? Okay. We got the lights looking purple. Okay. So Granty Grant. Granty Grant Grant. Where is my okay, here we are. All right. Let's go share screen. Let's talk astrology. So, first things first, Moon and Gem in the eighth, no serious hard aspects, square of Mercury. It can be that one's a little tough, but I mean they're both in mercurial planets, so it makes it way less tough, and it's mutable square, so it's probably like the easiest square you can possibly have. Then obviously 22-degree Leo is an interesting degree of Leo. It gives you a nice sextile though between Sun and Moon. So the Leo part of you and the Gemini part of you definitely kind of combine well. Like they have similar goals, and you throw the Scorpio rising on top of that, and you're like, that's a lot different. But um, it's not so important. It's not like it's not something I would say is bad, but what the interesting thing about the combination, being a Scorpio rising, right? Rising being your personality, how you come off, how you approach life. Scorpio risings are very, what can you say? They have this mysterious, this intrigue to them. It's like people want to know more, when they see them, when they come across them. And there is also sometimes like an intimidation, not on purpose, but it can be a little intimidating when you come across a Scorpio rising. It's like they have this presence that they don't even have to say anything, but they are there and people notice them. Usually very beautiful and once again mysterious eyes. Um, and it makes one very analytical in terms of like the psychological underpinnings. Like it's kind of hard to recognize a Scorpio rising. Like, and it does give like kind of a dark demeanor. So this is what's so interesting, right? Like the fact that you're a Leo sun makes you very, very charming. Um, right? Like Leo sun, even at 22 degrees, which is the Capricorn degree, which is, you know, um, people talk about um that degree a lot. And there's lots of myths around 22-degree Leo is the kill or be killed. I'm sure you've heard it. But look, like if that was true, that everyone with 22-degree Leo sun, uh, killed someone or was killed, then that's 1 out of 360 people would be, murdered. So it's more about this energy of and then you have no, you don't have any hard aspects to the sun, right? I mean, you have square Mars, which is you just have to watch out for risk taking and kind of calming your nerves. But I mean, lots of famous people have that degree. Um, so yeah, it can make someone quite cutthroat, like win at all costs competitive, and have because it's Capricorn, there can be some trauma that's experienced early on, with your South Node opposite the IC, and it's squaring nothing. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where you're still Leo. You just might have to until you're born. Yeah, so like probably until like recently, maybe lots of setbacks, but it is one of those placements that dives you deeper into spirituality, right? But the lower vibe of it can be selfish, you know, jealous, conceited, yeah, so the kind of self-centered energy. Um, Unhappiness in love can happen, and just accidents, so you have to be very, very careful in this. Some of your aspects speak to that, Sun square um, Mars for one can make people hot tempered, especially Leo. But going back to what I was, or actually further, like remember that astrology is the beauty. The beauty of astrology is that it gives us the awareness. So we understand through awareness the possibilities. As is that something that shows up? Anything that I listed, right? And if so, what can you do to change it? Um, let's see here. And yeah, Black Moon Lilith and Sag, kind of your lower potential energy, it can speak to some selfishness and some, potential know-it-allness. Um, just important to kind of keep your mind open and lean into the higher degree of Leah, just in general, right? And also your sun is on, it's 12 degrees on from the midheaven, and Leo is the best, or it's the exalted position of the sun. So I mean, it's really nice. So going back to what I was saying before, is the Scorpio rising will have you in that manner I described earlier, the mysterious, dark, kind of hard for people to read, someone who wants to read other people, and it's actually an elemental square between, meaning that Leo and Scorpio don't get along; they square each other. There's a tension between that energy, and that's because Leo is all about smiles and just like it's just like the sun. It's just like the shining sun, right? Being a shining light, and you have it on an angle, the midheaven, which makes it even stronger. So it's interesting to consider how that might just play out, right? Mm. So yeah, so that's probably interesting to have the Scorpio rising with Pluto in the first house, and to also be a Leo, with a Gemini moon, because basically, like a Leo with a Gemini moon is someone who's very full of life, very adventurous. I mean, man, what a combination for fun, just pure fun, childishness. Um, but then you'll like when people first meet you, I guarantee you've heard this, like they'll think you're less. I have the same shit, by the way, even though I'm a Leo rising, which is weird. Like I have like a dark kind of vibe somehow. It's the Pluto and Scorpio, kind of, not really on social media, but then I'm very like light and bright when people meet me. So I wonder if it's like that for you, right? Or it's like people are like surprised by how nice you are and how fun you are and how open to new experiences you are. But what's cool about this is that your moon in Gemini, right, which is the moon to me is it's conjunct with vertex, so it's a signal to me that you're woman, particularly the mother, but just women in general, play a very important role in your life. Lots of fate related to Gemini energy. So there's this huge theme in your chart of the integration of lower and higher mind. Um, and what's cool is that as a Scorpio rising, right, the eighth house is the house where your moon is, which is the house of Scorpio. So yes, your moon's in Gemini, but it's in the area of your chart that's related to Scorpio. So it would make you someone who is very multifaceted, to the point to where you could literally have like two, like and all Gemini moons have to watch out for a few things. I'll get into one of them being starting too much and not following through on what they're doing, and just starting a million things and then just like they never really they become the jack of all trades, master of none. But the fact that's in the eighth house, the eighth house is all about the occult. It's all about the esoteric. It's all about life after death. It's all about that real psychological depth. So when you have Gemini combined with Scorpio, you have someone who is able to be in both worlds, the worlds of like who want you have someone who wants to who has an emotional need to communicate a lot about but not about like surface level Gemini and low vibe Gemini um topics. Someone who wants to communicate about very deep topics and who has a need for it, like a thirst, a hunger for more information that can empower them and help them understand who they are, on a deeper level. So it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. And also the eighth house is responsible for death, rebirth, and transformation, on the emotional level, being the moon. So you'd be someone who would let in all likelihood go through drastic um deaths and rebirths on an emotional level. So yeah, it's interesting. And that can be a little bit hard in the sense that you can feel as though you outgrow certain people. Like if you're living like where you came from, for example, Ohio, that's where you grew up, there can be an energy that I often see with ATAS. I have an ATAS, just in case you're wondering. So I know the eighth house. It's basically like I see it so much where there's this, yeah, like this outgrowing of people that you may have grown up with, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. And it can be awkward and hello, hello, hello. Wait, let me Hello. Okay, I am praying. It just said your microphone isn't working properly. How can I check? I pray to God that everything was recorded. This puts me. Why is my camera not working? Oh, now my camera doesn't want to work. Great. Okay, so now I have to make the great choice of, do I just continue with this, or do I stop the recording, let it upload, and see if the audio worked, and then release it into. Yeah, I have to, because if I miss I was on fire in this first 15 minutes, and I'd be very, very sad if those went away, which is really, really annoying. I think I know what I can do. I guess I can do that, and then I could start a new recording while it's uploading. And in that second recording, I can go from where I left off, like where I'm at now in the reading, kind of hedging that that first part was recorded. It did show me the green microphone thing, which is very bizarre that it would just. But you'd think that it would say your microphone is not working properly. Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. And I'm just gonna combine. Yeah, I get. I'll figure it out. Yeah, I'm gonna end this and then start a new recording.